My dear brothers and sisters, the Prophet Muhammad once said something so simple, so clear, yet so powerful, that if a person truly learns it and lives by it, their life can completely change. Not only their dunya, but their akhirah as well. Today's reminder is based on these blessed words. Learn 4 things from me, and your life will change. Let us stop for a moment. This is not a motivational talk. This is not self-help advice. This is not a lecture to impress the mind. This is guidance coming from the Messenger of Allah, the one chosen by Allah to teach humanity how to live and how to return back to Him with a sound heart. My dear brothers and sisters, we live in a time where people are exhausted, spiritually tired, emotionally empty. Many people say, I pray, but I don't feel peace. I try to be good, but my life feels heavy. I make dua, but my heart feels blah. And often we think the solution must be something big, something complicated, something extreme. But the Prophet did not say, climb mountains, or leave the world, or do what only a few can do. He spoke about 4 simple habits, 4 foundations, 4 actions that shape the heart, the character, and the life of a believer. Because Islam does not begin with appearances. It begins with truth, with honesty, with character, with what we earn, and how we treat others. These 4 habits are not heavy on the body, but they are heavy on the soul, because they require sincerity. They require courage. They require taqwa. And if we are honest with ourselves, many of our problems are not because we don't know Islam, but because we don't live Islam. The Prophet wanted to protect us, protect our hearts from hypocrisy, protect our deeds from rejection, protect our lives from chaos. So he had taught us these 4 habits, not for scholars only, not for imams only, but for every Muslim, young or old, man or woman, rich or poor. My dear brother, my dear sister, before we go further, ask yourself one question. What if the reason Allah's blessings feel distant is not because He is far from us, but because we have moved away from these simple teachings? Today, we are not here to judge anyone. We are here to reflect, to return, to realign our hearts with the words of the Prophet. These 4 habits, if adopted sincerely, can soften a hard heart, can bring barakah into a broken home, can change the direction of a person's life. So listen, not with your ears alone, but with your heart, because this message is not just information. It is an invitation to live the way the Prophet wanted us to live. Let us be honest with ourselves for a moment. We often search for change in new places, a new routine, a new speaker, a new book, a new environment. But the Prophet Muhammad too taught us something very different. He taught us that real change begins inside, in the way we speak, in the way we deal with people, in the way we earn, in the way we carry ourselves when no one is watching. These 4 teachings are not random advice. They are not separate rules. They are deeply connected, because a person who speaks the truth will not deceive others. A person who does not deceive will naturally develop good character. And a person with good character will never be comfortable earning haram. This is why the Prophet gathered these 4 together, because they build a complete believer from the inside out. Look at the world around us today. Trust is broken. Words have lost their value. People smile on the face and betray behind the back. And then we wonder why hearts feel heavy. Why relationships feel empty. Why duas feel unanswered. Islam does not separate worship from daily life. Your salah is worship. But so is your honesty. So is your character. So is your income. The Prophet wanted us to understand something very important. That Allah is not only watching us in the masjid, Allah is watching us in the market, in the office, in business deals, in private conversations. And this is where many people struggle. They may pray beautifully, but lie casually. They may fast sincerely, but deceive easily. They may speak about Islam, but their character pushes people away. This is not what the Prophet wanted for his ummah. He wanted an ummah whose words can be trusted, whose presence feels safe, whose character reflects Islam without speeches. My dear brothers and sisters, these 4 habits are not heavy commands, but they are tests of sincerity. Because anyone can claim faith. But faith shows itself in behavior. That is why this reminder is not meant to entertain you. It is meant to awaken you. Gently, respectfully, truthfully. Ask yourself, when people deal with me, do they feel safe? Do they feel respected? Do they feel fairness? Or do they feel uncertainty, doubt? Fear of being treated unjustly. The Prophet did not only teach people how to pray, he taught people how to be human, with dignity, with honesty, with mercy. And wallahi, if these 4 habits return to our lives, our homes will change. Our businesses will change. Our masajid will change. Our image as Muslims will change. Because Islam spreads through character more than speeches. So before we go deeper, before we explain each habit one by one, take a deep breath. Make a quiet intention in your heart. Ya Allah, I am listening not to judge others, but to correct myself. Because the Prophet gave this advice, not to point fingers, but to save hearts. Is enough that following a few rituals will automatically bring peace to the heart. Yet, there is a quiet struggle inside most of us, a struggle that we rarely admit, a sense that despite our efforts, something is missing. We make small compromises every day. We tell little lies, thinking no one will notice. We manipulate situations for personal gain. We take shortcuts in earning, even if we know deep down it is wrong. These are not just mistakes. They are patterns. Patterns that slowly weigh down the heart. They block the flow of barakah in life. Sometimes it starts with the simplest things. A word spoken carelessly. A promise broken. A minor deception. The mind justifies it. It's harmless. Or everyone does it, but the soul remembers. The heart carries it. And over time, small errors shape a person's character. Even the prayers, the fasting, and the acts of worship lose their power. If the core, honesty, integrity, and sincerity is weak, many they see others prosper. They see others happy, yet their own life feels stagnant. The problem is not always circumstances. It is the distance between their actions and the guidance of the Prophet. Ow. Ignoring these habits does not bring relief. It brings tension. The mind may feel clever. The eyes may not notice. But the heart, deep inside, senses imbalance. So today, before we move to the solutions, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, are my words always truthful? Do I betray trust even in small ways? Is my character gentle or harsh when no one is watching? Do I earn with honesty, or do I settle for shortcuts? These questions are not accusations. They are mirrors, gentle reflections meant to awaken the heart. Because the first step to transformation is awareness. Once we see the problem clearly, the path to change becomes real and achievable. And this is exactly what the next part will explore. It is easy to ignore small faults. A lie here, a betrayal there, a harsh word spoken in anger. Each seems minor, almost invisible. But these little actions accumulate. They settle in the heart like dust, slowly covering the light that Allah placed within. We forget that every action, every word, every intention is observed. Even if people do not see, Allah sees. And the soul feels the distance that grows between its deeds and His pleasure. How often do we find ourselves complaining that life is hard, that relationships are broken, that peace feels far away? And yet, when we examine our hearts honestly, we notice the patterns, the exaggeration in our speech, the shortcuts in our earnings, the hidden impatience or envy. We convince ourselves that these are small, harmless, or necessary compromises. But they are not harmless. They slowly erode our connection with Allah, with others, and with our own sense of self. The Prophet warned us about the dangers of neglecting these habits. A life built without truth, without integrity, without good character, and without halal earnings is a life always chasing, but never finding real contentment. It may feel like we are surviving. It may feel like everything is fine. But the heart feels heavy, restless, and unfulfilled. This restlessness is the silent alarm, a warning from Allah that something is off, that our habits are misaligned with His guidance. Understanding the problem is not enough. We must feel it in our hearts. We must recognize the discomfort caused by our own choices, because only then can we truly desire change. Only then can we prepare ourselves to adopt the habits that the Prophet promised would transform life. In the next section, we will explore the emotional build and real-life reflections, showing how these spiritual mistakes affect everyday life, and how the Prophet Wee's teachings can guide us back. There was a man, a simple believer, who came to me once with a heavy heart. He had been trying his best, praying, fasting, giving charity, and yet he felt empty inside. He said, "I follow all the rituals, yet I feel restless. I see others living peacefully while I struggle." I asked him to pause and reflect, to look at his daily habits, the words he spoke, the promises he made, the way he treated others, and how he earned his living. He hesitated. It is never easy to face the quiet truths of our hearts. But once he did, tears came. And with those tears came clarity. The Prophet Muhammad said, Truthfulness leads to righteousness, and righteousness leads to paradise. The man realized that small lies, hidden resentments, and shortcuts in earning had slowly distanced him from Allah. He understood that no act of worship, no matter how much, could replace the need for truth, integrity, and sincerity. The Quran reminds us, indeed, Allah commands justice and good conduct and giving to relatives, and forbids immorality and bad conduct and oppression. Every time we speak a lie, deceive, or act harshly, we are moving away from this divine command. And yet, when we pause, reflect, and choose to return, Allah's mercy is vast and immediate. This is the turning point, the moment we accept our mistakes not with fear or shame, but with hope and sincerity. It is the moment we understand that the Prophet did not just give advice, he gave path to real transformation. The story of this man reminds us that spiritual emptiness is not always caused by lack of knowledge. It is often caused by small habits we ignore. It is caused by neglecting the simple teachings that the Prophet promised would change life forever. And this is where our journey begins, recognizing the gap between our actions and the guidance of Allah. It is only when we acknowledge this gap that we can take the next step toward healing and transformation. As he reflected on his life, he realized something profound. The restlessness he felt, the emptiness in his heart, and the distance from Allah were all tied to the small habits he ignored. He remembered the Prophet's words, "The believer who mixes truthfulness with honesty in every matter will be raised among the truthful." And he understood that these habits, speaking truth, avoiding deception, building good character, and earning halal, were not just rules. They were the foundation of a life filled with peace, dignity, and closeness to Allah. He began to examine his daily life carefully. The words he spoke at work, the promises he had made to family and friends, the money he had earned and how he had earned it. He saw where he had been cutting corners, bending truth, and compromising his values for temporary comfort or gain. And with every realization, a weight lifted from his heart. The Quran reminds us, "Whoever comes with a good deed will have 10 times the like thereof, and whoever comes with an evil deed will not be recompensed except the like thereof." This is why small habits matter so much. A single lie, a single act of deception, or a single unjust earning can leave the heart restless and the soul burdened. But returning to truth and sincerity opens doors that no worldly effort can open. He took a deep breath and made a sincere intention in his heart. "I will speak the truth, even when it is hard. I will honor the trust of others, even when it costs me. I will refine my character, even when no one is watching. I will earn halal, no matter how challenging it may seem." And in that moment, he felt a subtle yet profound peace, not sudden or loud, but gentle, deep, and lasting. This is the lesson for all of us. Transformation is possible. Peace is possible. Closeness to Allah is possible. But it begins with the courage to face our habits honestly and the willingness to change. The next section will guide us on practical steps and healing, showing exactly how these teachings can be applied in daily life to bring real, lasting change. Change begins with awareness. We have seen how small habits, lying, deception, harsh character, and impure earnings create restlessness in the heart. But knowing the problem is not enough. Action is required. The first step is speaking the truth in every situation. Even when it is uncomfortable, even when it may cost something, start small. Notice the moments in your day where exaggeration, excuses, or lies feel natural. Pause. Take a deep breath and choose honesty instead. The prophet who said, "Truthfulness brings peace of heart and righteousness. Falsehood brings doubt and regret." The second step is avoiding deception in dealings with others. Trust is the currency of life. When we betray it, even in minor ways, we lose not only the respect of people, but also the blessings of Allah. Examine your commitments, family, friends, work, and ask, am I honoring the trust given to me? Am I acting with fairness and integrity in every decision? The third step is refining character. Character is reflected in patience, kindness, humility, and generosity. Small acts of good character, smiling at a stranger, controlling anger, speaking gently, accumulate in the heart. Al Jerry is shaped well, the prophet said. The best among you are those with the best manners. Even minor changes, choosing gentle words over harsh patience over irritation, can create ripple effects in relationships, work, and the community. Finally, begin earning halal rizq sincerely. Evaluate your sources of income. Choose work and trade that align with Islamic ethics. Avoid shortcuts, deceit, and exploitation, no matter how small. Allah says in the Quran, "O you who believe, eat from the lawful things we have provided you, and be grateful to Allah." The combination of these steps, truth, trustworthiness, good character, and halal earning, creates a foundation of inner peace, blessings, and spiritual elevation. This is the beginning of transformation. A small, sincere step today can completely change tomorrow. Once the intention is clear, small daily routines can create lasting change. Start your day with a moment of reflection. Ask yourself, will my words today be honest? Will my actions today honor the trust of others? Keep a mental note of your interactions. Every conversation is an opportunity to practice truthfulness. Every business deal or task is a chance to maintain integrity. Every smile or kind word builds your character. Du'as are also powerful tools for transformation. Before starting any task, say silently, "O Allah, guide me to speak the truth, act with honesty, and earn only what is pleasing to you." When tempted to cut corners, pause and remember, your actions are seen by Allah, even when no one else notices. Your integrity is your trust with the Creator. Create small daily goals. Speak truth in every interaction, no matter how minor. Return trusts in full, even when it requires effort. Practice patience and kindness in at least 3 moments each day. Review your earnings and ensure they are halal, avoiding even minor compromises. Slowly, these small habits become part of your character. They are no longer tasks. They become second nature. The heart feels lighter. Relationships improve. Du'as feel closer to being answered. The Prophet reminded us, the best of people are those who are most beneficial to others. By living honestly, avoiding deception, refining character, and earning halal, you naturally become beneficial to others. The impact is both internal, peace, contentment, and closeness to Allah, and external, trust, respect, and love from people. Start today, not tomorrow, not after convenience or mood. Even one small action, repeated sincerely every day, sets the foundation for a life full of barakah, tranquility, and spiritual elevation. These steps are simple, but they require sincerity. And when practiced with intention, the life you live can truly change forever. We often hear advice, listen to reminders, and even feel inspired for a moment. But then, life returns to the same old habits. The truth is, ignoring the guidance of the Prophet is not harmless. Every lie we tell, every trust we betray, every harsh word we speak, and every shortcut we take in earning, it is like a small crack in the foundation of a house. At first, it may seem minor. We may feel it is insignificant. But over time, these cracks grow. They weaken the structure. And eventually, the whole house can collapse. Allah warns us in the Quran, do not let your own hands throw you into destruction. This warning is for everyone, not just for the people who commit obvious sins. Even small compromises, repeated daily, can lead a heart away from guidance. Think about it. When we speak lies, even small ones, the heart becomes hardened. When we betray trust, even in minor ways, the soul feels restless. When we act harshly, even secretly, relationships break and blessings leave. When we earn unlawfully, even a little, our prayers and deeds lose their value. The Prophet, they said, beware of small sins, for they accumulate and destroy the heart. This is the reality most people ignore. We pray, we fast, we give charity. But if the core truth, trust, character, and halal earnings is weak, our spiritual effort is incomplete. The warning is clear. Do not delay correction. Do not justify compromises. Do not ignore the signs of restlessness in your heart. Every day wasted in small sins